first visit to Limpopo. I've been to Limpopo many times, but not to Limpopo. The MEC for Economic Development, Environment and Tourism, MEC Sipwaro Sikwati, Tulani, the CEO of SA Tourism, Victor, the newly appointed Director General. I don't know for how long we called you the newly appointed Director General of the National Department of Tourism, because Tulani went on for about 9 months calling me the new Minister of Tourism. I don't know, what do I have to do to graduate? You know? The Executive Mayor of the Waterberg District Municipality, Mohutlane, I thank you for telling us that you have a clean audit. Congratulations. And also for telling me that you are stinking filthy rich. I will pass this information to the Minister of Finance to say, good news, you can pass on your that share of the budget that was coming here. It can go to other not so rich districts, because this district is filthy rich. Thank you. The Chief Executive Officers of various tourism agencies who are here, the chairperson of the Limpopo Tourism Agency, the members of the media who are here, ladies and gentlemen, friends, comrades. I've got to be very careful, you know, it's not just members of the media who are here. There's one here, if I say one wrong thing, I get straight into next week's Mampara of the Week. You know. Straight. Thank you, MEC, and thank you for all of you for being here and for making time to join us here in Limpopo. What an amazing province this is. It is packed with diversity, from bushveld and majestic mountains to indigenous forests and unspoilt wildernesses. It has important sites that tell the story of our heritage and culture, and it is home to the most warm and welcoming people you can ever imagine. Yes, it is Women's Month, and yes, this is the one province where there's a rain queen. There's also, this is the one province, by the way, you know, some other provinces whom I don't want to mention only boast of one king, and they've never had a queen. You have the queen here. We also have a traditional leader who was instated as traditional leader on the basis of a very important sort of landmark constitutional court ruling, which was precedent-setting. We'll be launching a project in her area in the not-too-distant future. But women certainly are not shy in this province. Women create and manufacture and design and do golf courses in this province. Women are great program directors in this province. They can even get down to their knees when you know, we thought that this was an outdated practice, but they're just reminding us of our rich diversity of culture. So, ladies and gentlemen, every September we celebrate Tourism Month in South Africa, and we celebrate World Tourism Day together with the rest of the world on September the 27th. What makes the month of September so special in our country's calendar is that we are also celebrating our heritage, culminating in our National Heritage Day on September the 24th, a day when many of our attractions, in fact, are open to the public, free of charge. Now, this is very important for domestic tourism in our country, where the majority of our citizens are struggling to survive on their meager incomes and just don't have enough money to enjoy our rich natural and cultural heritage, which really is something that we have to be worried about. We've got these amazing things to offer, but not everybody is able to afford them. Your story about Merwe may have been a light-hearted story, program director, but actually it does tell a story. There are many people in South Africa today who are living in very many villages, in many Merwes, or many cities who are right next to museums or art galleries, or are next to theatres who have never seen a theatre. And I think that becomes one of our big challenges. So, the unaffordability of so many of our wonderful attractions, it does hold us back. It deprives our young people, who are the future consumers and our future professionals in our country, of the experiences and appreciation of the arts, theatre, dance, music, outings to museums, national gardens and parks. Going forward, dear friends, we really must creatively develop programs to enable access for those who would otherwise be unable to participate. in all that our country has to offer. Tourism and culture and heritage tourism in particular brings people together and promotes mutual understanding and a real sense of a common humanity, despite what are very often just minor differences between us, artificial differences. What tourism does in connecting people and bringing people together, it starts people recognizing that we are part of one human race, we are part of one humanity, and that we can set aside those often petty differences. In the words of Maya Angelou, the author, poet, dancer, actress and singer, this is what she says: perhaps travel cannot prevent bigotry, but by demonstrating that all people cry, laugh, eat, worry and die, it can introduce the idea that if we try and understand each other, we may even become friends. So in addition to serving this higher social purpose, tourism that is centered around the places, people and stories that represent our heritage presents us with a rich and valuable economic asset that gives us an edge in the highly competitive global market. And there's so much. I heard the MEC about the hidden gems in the Limpopo province. We have hidden gems all over our country. We have things that nobody knows about. We've got to discover them. We've got to uncover them. We have to take people to them. We're so happy that some of you had 3 days to discover some of the hidden gems of the Limpopo province, but I can guarantee you, you've only barely scratched the surface. A little bit worried I am, though, Tulani and Victor, that these media people see footage of us just 3 days playing golf, holding lions' tails, doing zip lines. When do these people ever work? That's what they do. That's our work. That's what we do. No, it wasn't me. Let me say immediately. It was some of these guys sitting over here. But the fact of the matter is that when we, during this tourism month, we focus our efforts on promoting domestic tourism. It's a time for us to encourage all South Africans to get on the road and explore this unique, beautiful land of ours. We are launching Tourism Month here in Limpopo, but in truth all our provinces are interconnected and interdependent. There are no artificial boundaries between the provinces. It is our collective challenge to collaborate in the interests of growing tourism with all its attendant economic and social benefits. So when we speak about some of the factors that are inhibiting the growth of tourism, when we say we are worried about whether it's the effect of the Ebola outbreak or whether it's the effect of visa regulations or whatever matter may impact negatively on tourism, every province is affected and a great number of jobs are at stake. So international and domestic tourism is also intertwined. These two are also intertwined. There are times when international tourism simply is a bit slow. There are times when there are factors beyond our control. And those are the times that our product owners need domestic tourism, apart from all of the other benefits of domestic travel. The business tourist arriving in Cape Town from some international destination and taking the cable car up Table Mountain must be persuaded to spend a day or two more in our country, enthralled at the prospect of visiting the Mapungubwe World Heritage Site. The sport tourists arriving at OR Tambo International Airport, planning to watch the rugby, must be bombarded with information about the Marula Festival, Opikopi, and anything else these wonderful things that we have to offer. The beachgoer arriving at King Shaka International Airport must find the prospect of buying the acclaimed works of visual artists, textile weavers, beaders, potters and wood carvers from the far north of our country irresistible. And so, the tourist in Durban, who is a very long way from here, the tourist in Durban creates opportunity for women in Toyando. And we need to understand that. This tourism month, we must commit ourselves to building collaborative marketing going forward, prolonging the stay of the international visitor, getting a higher number of return visits, and growing the culture of travel by South Africans in our own country. So you heard from Tulani and others, we are launching our new domestic tourism marketing campaign. 1 million new experiences are a short left away. This is our way of saying there is always a first time for everyone to discover and enjoy a new tourist experience, whether you are new to traveling or a seasoned traveler. And there is lots to see and experience in all parts of our country. We launched Tourism Month with a media event because it is the media who share the positive messages and inspiring stories with everyone in the country and all over the world. We appreciate your presence here today. It shows that you have bought into the importance and significance of traveling and that you understand how it changes lives. Your writings and broadcasts share the excitement of traveling with all our fellow South Africans. So let us give the media who are here just a warm round of welcoming applause. That should be enough for me not to be declared the Mampara of the week. Really. Now, how can you declare somebody who's been so nice to you? But honestly, we can do nice things, we can experience good things. Unless it gets out to the people of South Africa, it just stays amongst ourselves. So I think the media, that's the role that the media has to play. Domestic tourism provides long-term growth and sustainability of South Africa's tourism industry, as well as our economy. We have, and some of you probably know this, we've ring-fenced 100 million rand per annum, starting this year for the next 3 years, to invest in growing the sector through our marketing efforts. With this investment, we are committed to ensuring that the wonders we boast of and the unique heritage we have been endowed with become ambassadors of their own country. And the first step is for them to travel through it, to discover it, learn about it, and fall in love with all its beauty and diversity. As more of our people discover more about our country, they will feel a sense of pride and belonging. There is nothing like direct contact and interaction between people to break through artificial social barriers and allow us to share the things we all have in common. In 2014, tourism accounted for close to 10% of all employed people in South Africa. Just about 1 in 10 people employed in our country were employed directly and indirectly in the tourism sector. That is massive. Domestic trips increased quite significantly, and the revenue generated by domestic tourism alone in 2014, just domestic tourism, people traveling around their own country, was 26.8 billion rand. To reach our target of 18 million domestic tourists by 2020, as set out in the National Tourism Sector Strategy, we will have to work hard to make tourism more affordable and more accessible to all South Africans. But before that, we've got to make South Africans want to travel. What do? We know that we have challenges with disposable income. We know that our growth rate is not what it should be. But within these parameters, let's try to make sure that people start seeing the real value and the real long-term value of travel and tourism. What do people spend their hard-earned disposable income on? Largely. Imported consumer goods, largely. Let's be honest. Spending it on domestic tourism is much, much better for our economy. So we are very keen to work with the trade to make travel a reality for millions of South Africans. This includes getting insights into what South Africans seek in a leisure travel experience. We don't all seek the same things. We have to cater for many, many different wants and desires. And sharing these insights with the travel industry to make domestic travel more affordable. All members of the trade are encouraged to upload their value for money deals onto the Short Left website and to provide a variety of packages and options to suit all budgets. World Tourism Day, which as I said takes place on the 27th of September, will be celebrated under the theme of 1 billion tourists, 1 billion opportunities. 1 billion because that's what we hit globally in 2013. 1 billion travelers, more than 1 billion travelers, that's what we hit in 2013, traveling internationally all over the world. We want to increase our share of those billion travelers. That's what we want to do, and we will then, in doing so, create sustainable jobs for millions of South Africans. This theme, a billion tourists and a billion opportunities, provides a platform to examine how communities around the world work to grow tourism through unearthing new opportunities. The potential of tourism to develop communities is significant. Around the world, people are increasingly searching for authentic experiences. Today's travel is quite unlike the travel of a few years ago, who simply wanted to come to South Africa and experience a luxury safari with minimal interaction with local communities. That's changed. The majority of travelers today want to have a flavor of the country, a feel of the country, want to interact with people, want to interact with communities, want to taste the culture, want to feel the heritage. And we need to offer packages that combine all of these things. They will still, Tulani, they will still want to come and experience our wildlife. Heaven forbid that we promote the, the holding the lion by the tail. Because the next tourist that comes here and is chowed by a lion in the car, they'll say, but you put on your website that we could walk next to a lion holding its tail. There's a journalist here who doesn't like the word, I'm not even going to mention it, CAT. Really doesn't like members, doesn't like that category of animals. But the truth of the matter is, these are our wild animals. We don't play with them. So we may be able to offer elephant walks here and there, but what people are really coming to South Africa for is an authentic wildlife experience. And if we can combine that with authentic, rich cultural experiences, we have a winning packet. So, that's what travelers want. They want to leave, they want to go home with memories, with meaningful, memorable experiences. They not only tell their friends when they go home, they do what some of you are doing right here as we speak. They Twitter to their friends immediately. And they say, I've just had the most fantastic evening. The evening did not just depend on the setting. Didn't just depend on how good the steak was. All of that is important. But it depends more than anything else on the company. So let us never take that for granted. Quality of service and the welcoming atmosphere that we create in our country. And that should be part of our domestic tourism strategy. We must become a tourism-friendly nation. Hear that, journalists? Send out to your readers. Tell them, if we're going to be a winning country, if we're going to create those millions of jobs, we have to be a welcoming nation. We have to be a tourist-friendly country. And in truth, we can be one of the great leading tourist destinations in the world. Here in beautiful Limpopo, our host province, the province which is home to the Mapungubwe World Heritage Site, South Africa's first city of gold, which flourished in the 12th century, long before my early ancestors arrived here in this beautiful country called South Africa. There were ancient civilizations flourishing in this country. Of course, they were quite recent as well. We have something else to boast about. Part of it in your province, that all of humanity originates in South Africa. That my early ancestors and Tulani, your early ancestors, are exactly the same people. That we are so close to each other genetically, and we have all the evidence in our country. We speak to the oneness of humanity in South Africa. We must showcase that. We must speak about it proudly. So, and of course, let us not forget that Limpopo is also home, although it shares this pride of place with Mpumalanga province, is home to a place which needs no introduction to anybody, and that is the Kruger National Park. So I hope you'll all take the opportunity to travel through this amazing province. We'll be coming back as part of Tourism Month to meet its people and experience their culture, history and heritage. Allow me to leave you with some words of wisdom from the great South African singer Miriam Makeba. And this is what she said: I look at a stream and I see myself, a native South African, flowing irresistibly over hard obstacles until they become smooth and one day disappear, flowing from an origin that has been forgotten toward an end that will never be. Those are the beautiful words of Miriam Makeba. So I hope that the many streams and rivers we see in our travels around this province and throughout our country remind us of this. We in South Africa have the enduring capacity to overcome obstacles wherever we find them. By working together, we can ensure that the tourism industry continues to grow and thrive and continues to transform the lives of all South Africans. Kia ora.